Mia here, and welcome back once again to another bookish review. Yes, another one, and I'm not stopping anytime soon. In the video about the 2022 books that I wanted to bring with me, I was really tired that day, so I'm sorry if that was a little low energy, because I was just tired, and I really wanted to do a video talking about the books I wanted to bring with me in 2022, so I did it despite being tired. Now, this is going to be a review for the book Vampire Academy. Now, this is a book and a book series that a friend of mine that I've known since middle school, that I've since fallen out of contact with, was trying to convince me to read for the longest time, but for whatever reason, I just didn't want to. I guess I was tired of vampire stuff, with Twilight being at the height of its popularity, and I didn't really want to get into a series that big or that long. But after having returned some books to Barnes & Noble for trying to read them but not getting that far at all into them, so deciding to return them, I ended up using the in-store credit to get the box set, which, as you know, I'm absolutely in love with the sleekness and the design of the box set. But I finally finished book 1 of Vampire Academy, and I will say we see the story through the eyes of Rose, a Dampier. And a Dampier is a half Mori, half human. Now, before I confuse you, there are 3 different types of vampires in the world of Vampire Academy. The Mori, which are mortal, royal vampire families that have a connection to earth and magic. They can use magic because they're still human, but they still need blood to survive and are susceptible to sunlight. It just doesn't burn them alive. Then there are Dampiers, which is the sons and daughters of a Mori and a human, who are trained to guard and protect their Mori counterparts. They are the guardians of the royal vampires and the royal vampire families. And then there are the Strigoi, however you say it. They are the vampires that we typically hear about, the human-killing, blood-sucking, immortal, dead, and uncaring vampires of the original folklore. They're the kind of OG vampires, and they are feared in the world of Vampire Academy because they feed off Mori blood. And the way a Mori and a Dampier descend to status of Strigoi is by feeding on a human so much that they die from it, and that turns them into this undead, normal type monster that we're used to hearing about, or they kill a Mori and drink their blood to become a Strigoi. But Strigoi are feared in this universe, so the Dampiers are trained at this academy called Vladimir's Academy, St. Vladimir's Academy, which is where Vampire Academy comes in. This story starts off following our main character, Rose. She is a Dampier and guardian of the last of the Dragomir bloodline, Liza. She has a longer name than that, but I do not know how to pronounce it, and I'm not going to try because it's going to be bad. But before I get into the story from there, I'm going to warn you, there are going to be spoilers for both the book and the movie, because obviously the book comes first. There's going to be spoilers for the movie as well. So if you do not want those, and you have not seen or read the book or watched the movie, then leave this now and come back to it once you have. I don't want to spoil anything for you, so I won't be mad at you if you leave. Now, assuming everyone that does not want spoilers is gone, let's get into this. Now, like I said, we are in the perspective of Rose, the Dampier and guardian in training of Liza. Now, at first, while reading Rose, she comes off as a very two-dimensional character. She is constantly thinking about Liza. She's this supposed bad girl that's supposed to be kick-ass and strong and sarcastic and snarky, and that's all she is. That's all she cares about is Rose and being strong to protect Rose. And at first, that made her feel very two-dimensional, because we start out the story with them being captured and brought back to the academy because, for whatever reason that we don't currently know about, they had run away from the academy, and the academy wouldn't take that and brought them back. So we follow them trying to integrate themselves back into life at the academy after being gone from it for 2 years. We don't know why they left, we don't know why they were wanted back so bad, and we don't know about Liza or Rose's connection. All we know is she's a Dampier, and she's supposed to protect Rose, who is soon to be the one she's supposed to be guarding. Now, there's a lot of drama in this, and there's a lot of self-harm, but it's not for the shock value of it. The self-harm part of it has a very valid reason for it, and it actually works really well, and it's not written for shock value. It's not written to be this like edgy thing. It's looked down upon. They feel horrible when it happens to her, and she tries to stop her from doing it and all of this, but she doesn't know how, she doesn't know what to do, and she's afraid of what will happen if she ever tells someone that Liza is hurting herself. But the way they explain why she does what she does and why she hurts herself, it makes it very validated and very essential to the story. But we follow both Rose and Liza through Rose, who has this connection to her that no one can understand and no one knows about. They don't even understand the connection. And when I say connection, I mean literally connected. Rose can feel whenever Liza is in trouble, whenever she is sad, whenever she's angry. She can feel that. Now their bond is one-sided, meaning Liza cannot feel Rose, but Rose can feel her. They don't understand it. They don't really like it that way, especially Liza, who feels like Rose unintentionally invades her privacy and her mind and her body. They can't help it though, so there's nothing they can really do. Now, I'm going to skip all the drama because I really don't want to talk about that. There's a lot of petty female, like, oh, she stole my guy, and she's prettier than me, and oh, look at Princess Dragomir, and because she's the last of her bloodline and the last of the Dragomirs, and there's a whole bunch of drama going on in this school that I'm just going to skip because it's a bunch of high school bullshit, and if you've been to high school, you've been through it. We don't need to talk about it. It's not really part of the story anyway. It's just to make it seem like a fleshed out high school. So I'm going to skip over that. But all through the book, it keeps getting mentioned that Rose is Liza's shadow-kissed guardian. And I kept thinking, what the hell is shadow-kissed? And it just keeps cropping up and cropping up. And all the time, each time the shadow-kissed thing gets brought up, there's more weight behind it each time. And by the end of it, you're like, what is shadow-kissed? what is going on? Like, what does that mean, and why does that seem like a bad thing? So that's an intriguing mystery that she keeps pulling you in with. She doesn't bring it up very very frequently, but she brings it up enough to be like, okay, this is like the third time this shadow kiss thing has come up. It's not a coincidence anymore. There's something to this. And we find out that the reason Liza and Rose left the academy in the first place was because Liza had fallen into this deep depression, and it was because of an accident that happened that killed her family and almost killed Rose as well. Like I said, Maury and Dampiers are still mortal. They are not immortal like the Strigoi are. They can be killed as easily as we can. So, her family was taken in a car accident. And that is when Rose was said to have been shadow kissed and their bond began. And no one knows why, especially themselves. But they're like, we have to keep this secret. No one can know, and it's got to be this big thing. Well, through the book, there keeps becoming like these animal deaths. First there was a raven, then there was a rabbit, then there was a fox, and then there was a dove. These animal deaths kept popping up periodically, always around Rose, and always around Liza, and it was putting Rose on edge, because every time Liza couldn't do something to help these animals, she would fall deeper and deeper into that depression, and it would make her crazy, and all of these emotions would come in, and she'd start to harm herself. And Rose is like, you gotta stop this, you can't do this, tell me what's wrong, like, I will try to help you the best I can, you don't have to do that, just trying to be there for her and be a good friend and also do her job as Liza's guardian, which she's only her assigned guardian because of the fact of their bond. They don't know how they're bonded, why they're bonded, or what, but they can tell that this isn't a normal trainee-trainer thing. So that mystery keeps getting sprinkled in. Like, what is shadow kiss? Why are these dead animals keep popping up around Liza? What is Rose gonna do about it? What is this bond about? And why does it seem significant? And in looking for clues about it, since she is secluded from activities anyway due to them running away, Rose does some digging and ends up going to the church that is set there in the academy. And she finds out about Saint Vladimir himself, which is also described to have a guardian that was named Shadow-Kissed Anna. Her name was Anna. They just call her Shadow-Kissed Anna. And she goes, there's that saying again, that shadow-kissed. What does that mean? Why do they call Vladimir's guardian this, and why am I considered shadow-kissed too? So there's this mystery building of why do they have a different bond than other guardians and guarded, while other Dampiers and Maury. So they're trying to figure out that. And then they have this shadow-kissed that keeps coming up more and more and more and more, and they can't figure it out. But Rose and Liza are both too scared to say anything about it because there was a teacher that was taken away for reasons similar to their situation. She had issues like Liza did, and she fell to Strigoi by choice to get rid of her powers because Strigoi are dead, they're gone. Their spiritual connection to the elements has then been removed because they no longer have said spirit. So in finding all this out, she keeps digging and digging, and still to this point, I was thinking there wasn't much to Rose, except for the fact that she's like, I have to protect her, I have to protect Liza. But as that goes on with the whole shadow kiss and the animals being killed around Liza and all of that, and Saint Vladimir having this shadow-kissed guardian, and Saint Vladimir healing people and all of this stuff, it starts to come out that because Liza healed a raven one time, these animals are being harmed and put in front of her in the hopes to see her heal again, to see if she actually is a healer or if it was a fluke of some kind. Then the truth comes out. Rose was in the accident with Liz's family, and she should have died. The seat that she was sitting in had been completely crushed, yet she walks away with a few scratches? No. It comes out that Liza had used her powers to heal her in the accident, because she couldn't bear to lose her as well, because they had been best friends for their entire life. So that's when the bond was formed. She was shadow-kissed when she died and came back to life. So that's what shadow-kiss means. It means someone who has died and was brought back to life. So because of Liza using her powers to heal, to save Rose, they are then bonded by that one-way connection. That's the reason Rose can feel Liza, and that's the reason it makes her a stronger, better, more capable guardian. And it unravels this whole plot about the animals. And they tried to make the bad guy that was making the animals dead a twist, but it honestly wasn't, because they were trying to make Liza's love interest Christian out to be the bad guy, but I'm like, if they do that, it'll be extremely obvious, because he's this big broody guy with these Strigoi parents, and there was just too many red flags pointing against him to where it was like, this would be too obvious if he was the one killing the animals. And then there was a girl called Natalie who just seemed far too nice. And she was somehow always around when an animal came up dead. So I was like, it's her, 100%. She might be working with someone or not, but she's killing these animals. And lo and behold, I was right. So the twist was not so much of a twist because they tried too hard to make it look one way or the other. So, and there was a part with Liz's uncle, who turns out to be the real bad guy because he's sick and wants her to heal him. He has her in a cabin, right? And because Liza has this power over spirit, which gives her the ability to heal, she can also manipulate humans, Mori, and probably not Strigoi because they don't have a spirit, but she can manipulate Mori, which no one's able to do even if they can compel, which was considered forbidden magic because it took away willpower, so no one knows how to do it anyway. And even if they did, they wouldn't be strong enough to compel other Mori like Liza is. So that was another way the bad guys found out that she was a little more special than other Moris in her pool. So they established this mind reading ability, mind control ability, to be this big grand thing that's super dangerous, super bad, and she can control other vampires. But then she sits there, lets her uncle kidnap her, tie her up, and put her in a cabin, and lets him monologue until she starts being tortured. Did you conveniently forget you had the ability to control even other royal vampires? What are you doing? Why are you sitting there letting him talk your ear off until he tortures you when you could be like, yo, Guardian, kill him, kill yourselves, I'm out of here. Like, you're gonna sit there and let him talk about using you as basically a battery so that he can continue to fend off his illness when you could. You said no. You said no. He threatened to torture you after you said no. He said you don't have a choice in the matter multiple times, and you didn't go. Okay, you think you're so tough? Kill him. Kill your buddies. Take yourself out. I'm out of here. That's all she had to do. But no, we needed a moment for Rose to come in and save her. This all-power vampiress with powers over the mind that no one has seen in years and can compel other vampires, which should not be possible, doesn't even use that ability. So other than to move herself through the ranks of her high school. But when it's actually needed, she doesn't use it. Why? But other than that, I thought the story was great. I love how they made Rose not this useless character, because at first she seemed very one note. And let's not even talk about the teacher romance, minor romance thing. Not good. I hate it. But the rest of the book was good, and I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to get into Frostbite. But I think because I borrowed these, even though my aunt said to take my time with them and it doesn't matter when she gets them back, I think I'm going to try to read these. So I will talk to you guys next time. Hope to see you next time.